Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome on Tunis International Radio. You are listening right now to the daily edition of English language program presented by Houda Ben Cheikh on Air Studio 1 with my colleague Houda Bizit for the technical engineering and the wonderful Reem for the live streaming. Hope you're having great time on this very special day, the 22nd of April, and I hope that you are celebrating a happy event. So congratulations, and if it is your birthday today, happy birthday. Today we're going to speak about an interesting event, and it is about culture. It's about English language also. I love the theme, which is storytelling. And for this, I would like to thank my guest over the phone, Dr. Oussema Othmeni, who is the Secretary General of the TAX, which is the Tunisian Association for American Culture Studies. And they are participating in an international conference organized by the Higher Institute of Languages in Janduba. The conference, the international conference, exactly is entitled Stories and Storytelling, a world of high stories. Amazing. So we are going to learn so much from Dr. Oussema. I hope he's... Hi, Oussema. How are you?
Hi, Houda. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you for accepting the invitation too, because it seems that it is a very interesting topic that is going to be dealt with during these couple of days from the 24th till the 26th of April. So the TAX is participating in this international conference. So can you tell us about the theme itself? What is storytelling? How important it is to learn about storytelling, and especially in the field of learning language, and the participation of the Tunisian Association for American Culture Studies in this international conference?
Well, of course. I would like to start, first of all, by thanking Dr. Adel Haneshi, who's the coordinator and conference chair of this conference, which is a very timely conference. As you have mentioned, it provides a multidisciplinary and an interdisciplinary platform even to engage with humanity's most fundamental forms of communication, which is telling stories. It's as old as the humanities itself, and understanding the world through stories in rather an academic way. Mm-hmm. And storytelling itself is actually very important as a pedagogical tool. We do have a toolkit that fits within the paradigm, which is narrative pedagogy. And so within American cultural studies in particular, we do rely on storytelling a lot, and it's very important because it contextualizes historical and cultural events and historical and cultural elements that we teach in different modules within American Cultural Studies modules. And so we do know that American Cultural Studies includes examining identity, race, gender, history. These are usually very abstract concepts for students. And so by relying on storytelling, we try to contextualize these events. We try to bring them to life through narratives, through cultural expressions, which usually make students very interested in learning more. Storytelling is, I believe, also important because, and this is a very integral aspect, in my opinion, because it humanizes cultural, historical analysis. So instead of relying only on theories, on statistics, which, don't get me wrong, they're very important, they're integral to our academic rigor, that's integral to our examination of different scholarly disciplines. But a complementary aspect to that has to be storytelling, because storytelling makes the analysis more human and provides it. For example, if I'm to give you an example, when we are analyzing, let's say, immigration policy in the United States, right? So examining a personal account of an immigrant, of someone who has been through, or an asylum seeker, someone who has been through the struggle of immigrating to a new country, who has gone through difficulties, through hardship, and telling the story of that particular individual allows for a more tangible and more realistic and more humanistic assessment of immigration policy. And this is where the importance of storytelling is actually very much perceived. It goes even more than that, because, in my opinion, it connects the past and the present. It links historical events to contemporary issues, and it allows us to understand present realities through actually critically engaging with past struggles. Not to mention that, of course, when students are educated through a narrative pedagogy and through stories, it helps them to reflect and to cultivate critical thinking because they can relate to stories and they can relate stories to their own lives, which is something very interesting in teaching something like American cultural studies. The U.S. is a faraway country. You have to make students try to relate these experiences to their own experiences, to their own entourage, to their own atmosphere. And so it's very important storytelling in this particular aspect.
Exactly. I really like the explanation actually, because it is all about society, about values, about cultures. And if you want to dive into a culture, what is a better way than going through a storytelling analysis, or and there you are going to learn more about the culture, and that's through storytelling. So, from folk tales of Africa, from fairy tales of Europe, from parable of the Middle East, also the fables of Asia, we are learning about humanity actually in a way. And that is really a very genuine idea, the organization of this conference, international conference about storytelling, and how important it is for learning the language, and also for those who are going to attend actually. I'm curious about, before coming to the organization of the event, I'm curious about what you're expecting from the attendees to learn or to come out with from this conference.
So, first of all, it depends primarily on what they're going to attend. TAC is delivering different contributions that we'll get into later on, such as speech, workshops, roundtable discussions. So students will learn how to understand the evolution of historical narratives. They will learn that history is not always objective, that history can be subjective, and it's very important to engage critically with history, to understand it, and to be able to understand the present reality through a critical understanding of the past. It will allow them to engage with narrative construction and power dynamics, which are usually embedded in historical narratives, and to understand the current political, social, economic dynamics of society, of the nature of international relations, the nature of human communication, human interaction. It's important to understand narrative construction, and students will have the opportunity to engage with that, to actively engage with the role of storytelling in shaping historical memory. This conference and our contribution, as well as the contributions of other colleagues, will help students understand how a historical event is framed, the idea of implotment, the different types of implotment, the comic, tragic, romantic, satirical implotments, and how historians have sometimes the flexibility of including raw details and raw materials within their historiography or their historical accounts. And it's very important for students to be able to identify these elements, to critically identify them, to critically engage with them, and to contextualize these particular elements, because after all, we're trying to cultivate active citizens in society. We're trying to cultivate knowledgeable citizens in society. We're trying to cultivate individuals that do not just accumulate knowledge, but who can utilize such knowledge for the greater good of their own entourage, their own communities, their own society, that can be active citizens. And to be an active citizen, you have to be capable of situating yourself within your own context. And your own context depends almost entirely on your history, where you come from, on the history of your people, the history of your land, the history of the world. And so it's very important for students to learn how to situate themselves, how to critically engage with narratives, for them to be active citizens and not just students.
Okay, that's really wonderful. So we come back to the students who are going to participate here, those who are really interested in this very innovative way of learning about storytelling. And if you want to know all the aspects about it, because it is a multidimensional approach, here you are going to learn something very, very interesting. And later on, of course, Dr. Oussema is going to tell us how participants can join in. So what about the participation of the TACs in this conference? Who are the key speakers? Are there workshops during this conference? Are there roundtable? Are there going to be debates? What are the major themes that are going to be dealt with?
Well, we are very pleased to be participating and contributing to this conference. We will be contributing in different formats. We're going to have a keynote speech delivered by the president of the Tunisian Association for American Cultural Studies, Professor Oussema Othmeni, who's going to talk about narrating the past, historiography, and storytelling in U.S. history. He'll focus on different schools of understanding narratives, historical narratives, and understanding the evolution of historical narratives. and engaging especially with historical disputes and controversies in U.S. history and historiography. And not just that, we also have a very, very, very interesting workshop titled, so Professor Daghli's keynote will be on the first day at 2 p.m. And then we have a workshop titled The Journey from Chronicle to Story, Historiography and Ideological Implotment, also on day one of the conference at 4 p.m. And it will be delivered by our one and only Dr. Yusra Amrawi, the Vice President of Tax, and the Assistant Secretary General of Tax, Ms. Hajar Ben Amr. They're going to deal with the evolution of history from chronicles, king lists, and basic chronological primary sources to stories with flexibility and implotment embedded in them. And so this is what is going to help students understand how to identify such implotment and how to critically engage with history. And tax is also going to have a roundtable discussion titled Trump's Geopolitical Fables, Annexation, Rebranding, and the Spectacle of U.S. Foreign Policy. This will be delivered on the final day of the conference, which is April 26th at 11:40 a.m. It will be delivered by Dr. Hafiz Gharbi. It will be also delivered by myself and Ms. Hajar Ben Amr. This is going to focus primarily on U.S. foreign policy, on contemporary current geopolitical decisions made by the Trump administration. It will delve into the previous administration as well, and so it links the past with the present. And it will basically blend theory with contemporary relevance, will, I believe, highlight the performative side of politics, hence the storytelling aspect of foreign policy, the performative aspect of what the Trump administration is trying to accomplish. The idea of using narrative, not just to communicate policies, but to negotiate power. And if you ask me, my opinion is to redefine geopolitical norms, even, which is what we've been seeing. What has been happening with the Trump administration, with the claims to annex Canada, to buy Greenland, changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And these are the tax contributions, but we also do have members participating individually, tax members, proud tax members. We have Ms. Ines Kayel, who's presenting on April 24th a paper titled The Contested Partisan Myth and or the Contested Puritan Myth and its Persistence in the American National Narrative. We also have Ms. Khouloud Chateh, a proud tax member, who's presenting The Power of Storytelling in Business Branding, a linguistic practitioner's perspective. I highly encourage students who are interested in entrepreneurship in business to attend Khouloud's speech. Khouloud is a very successful businesswoman and will be talking about business branding. And finally, we also have Dr. Yusra Amrawi presenting on plotless storytelling, political prison literature, and the historiography of incarceration, also an extremely interesting topic, on April 25th, which is the second day. So these should be all the tax contributions during this conference, and we're very, very, very excited to be there and to meet everyone there and to engage in this very important and very timely academic event.
Wonderful. So you gave us all the details, and for all those who are curious to know a little bit more about it, we can tell them to stay tuned to the social network of the TAX, which is the Tunisian Association for American Culture Studies. If you want to know more about the activities of the association too, because they are so much present on the social network, especially they have a Facebook page where they are posting all their activities. Plenty of interesting things are ongoing. I remind our listeners about the event. It's going to be from the 24th till the 26th of April in the Higher Institute of Jandouba. So all the events are being held in the Institute.
The first day will be held at the Institute, and then the second 2 days will be held at a hotel, the Hotel
Without mentioning the names, please.
Okay, so it's a hotel, but the first day will be at the Institute, so students will have access. We do hope that students will also show up on the second and third days.
And how can they join in? Sorry to interrupt you. How can they join in? Do they have to register before, or do they just go and attend? I mean, there are places for everyone.
I believe there are places for everyone. So the conference can actually welcome everyone who's interested to attend. For more details, I believe students or any other researchers, individuals, scholars, teachers, educators who are interested, they can check the call for papers, which is posted on Tax's Facebook page, which has all the details and about participation and attendance and everything else in terms of contact information and all the details they need to know with regards to this particular conference.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oussema Othmeni, Secretary General of the TAX, Tunisian Association for American Culture Studies. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Houda. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It is shared pleasure. We go back to music later on. We still continue talking about young people, talented young people, potential who are organizing plenty of interesting